Hello, and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook live video. And I'm just out here double checking that I can see your comments and can see when when y'all are jumping on and saying hello. And it looks like I'm live out here. So there we go, pulling up the video so that I can see when y'all come in. So if you are joining today, please feel free to say hello. And if you are watching the replay, that is just awesome too. You're always welcome to leave a comment on the replay as well. So today I'm going to show you how I made this card with the Easter Promise stamp set, as well as some of the, hopefully you can see it in the background, some of the pretty So Very vellum from the new Sale-a-bration second release that started today. So I am just going to show you, it's a pretty simple card, but just wanted to show you quickly how I made it. Again, that vellum is so pretty, so hopefully you can see it and see the embossed detail on it while I'm holding it up here in front of the camera. So speaking of the Sale-a-bration second release, hopefully y'all have seen it. If not, the details are all posted out on my blog today, which is stampwithamyk.com. There is a link out there to this brochure as well as the actual things in my online store, so you can take a close look at everything that's out there. So we have the Flowering Foils Specialty Designer Series paper, which is a beautiful, beautiful pack of paper. Hey, Connie, thanks for hopping in. Glad you're here today. And it's one that you can see it up in the top, hopefully. You can use it plain. It's beautiful just as it is. You can color the backgrounds. You can use sponge brayers on it. You can use sponge daubers on it. You can snip images out. So it's a very, very, very pretty pack of designer series paper. So I highly recommend that one. The next thing that we have up is the Rise and Shine photopolymer stamp set, which is a huge stamp set with some really good sentiments in it. There's some really cute samples here in the second release brochure, so definitely take a look at those. But yep, this is a great stamp set. This one is available. I forgot to say the designer paper is available with an order of $50 or greater starting today. That's one of your free options. And then we've got the Rise and Shine stamp set, which is available with an order of $100 or greater starting today. There's also the Well Dressed stamp set, which has got lots of great masculine images in it, and good for Father's Day, birthdays, anytime you need that good masculine card. So we've got the Well Dressed stamp set, which is available for free with an order of $50 or greater starting today. And then we've got the So Very Vellum Specialty Designer Series paper, which is what I'm going to be using today and playing with. It's a sheet of 6 sheets of vellum, and there are 2 of each color. They are Purple Posy, Pool Party, and Soft Seafoam. Try and say that fast 3 times. So that is one of the other options that is available for free with a order of $50 or greater starting today. And then the last new item is this big stamp set, which is also a really good size one. It's called Tags in Bloom, and this is available for free with an order of $100 or greater starting today. And the really nice thing about this is that it coordinates with 2 of the punches, the Label Me Fancy and Label Me Lovely punches from the current mini catalog, which started up in early January. So these are 2 of the new punches, and this works great for layering. Hopefully you can see the samples in here, so definitely some good things. And then in addition to those 5 new things, we have all of the items that were previously available, with the exception of the kerchief card kit and the metallic baker's twine and sequins combo pack, since both of those have sold out. But everything else is still available as options with your orders during Sale-a-bration. Sale-a-bration runs through the end of March, so definitely get your orders in soon so that you can get all the goodies that you're wanting. So, all right. One more thing. Stampin' Up! Also just announced, and I apologize, the color on this is absolutely horrible. My primary printer is having some issues this morning, and it wouldn't print, so I used a backup printer I have, so the colors printed all crazy on it. So the colors are actually really pretty in this. But Stampin' Up! Announced a new early release suite of products that they are going to have available. They're available right now for demonstrators to order and during the pre-order time frame. And the other added bonus is you can also add these items to a starter kit. So if you are interested in joining and want to get your hands on some of this product early, this is an early release suite. It'll be in the annual catalog, which is coming here in a few months. So They're releasing this early, so demonstrators can order it now. Customers can order it beginning on April 1st. So it's a whole full suite of products that you can order either as the whole suite for $136.75 or order each item individually as well. So let me show you. This is the, well, I'll start with the stamp set. So this is the Ornate Thanks stamp set, which has got tons and tons of good sentiments in it, which always love those. And then we've got the coordinating dies that go with it. Hey, Mary, glad that you're here. Thanks for hopping in. So the ornate border dies that coordinate with it, and this is available as a bundle. And then they have the organic Ornate Garden Specialty Designer Series paper, which has got foiling in it, so it's very, very pretty. And it's got some. Sorry, the sirens are going off outside. We live right down the street from the fire department, and every time they have an emergency, they ring the sirens. So, no worries, we're all safe here. So, so we've got the Specialty Designer Series paper, and it's got gold foiling in it, as well as it's got early espresso, gold, mint macaron, old olive, terracotta tile, whisper white, and a brand new in color. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see what that in color is when we can get our hands on the new catalog. And then there's also, in this whole suite of products, again, these can all be ordered individually or as the full suite. This is the Ornate Style stamp set. And then there are the Ornate Layers dies, and that's available in a bundle. And then there's the Ornate Floral 3D embossing folder, which I know you cannot see the image on that at all, but it's a bunch of really pretty little flowers. Then we've got the Ornate Garden Ribbon Combo Pack and some gilded gems. So these are all items, again, that are available for demonstrators to order now. And I just might have ordered mine and expedited it, and it might be showing up tomorrow. Okay, it will be. So I'll probably hop on when I get the actual product and we can see it a little bit better. Like I said, I know that printout was terrible, but just wanted to let you know about that. Let me know if you have questions on it. If you're interested in joining so you can get that stuff early, let me know. I'd be happy to talk with you more about it. Stamp It Up has a great joining promotion going on right now as well. So ask me. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to fill you in on any details. So let me know. All right, so back to the card that we actually started here with. Again, I made this with the Easter Promise stamp set and some of the pretty So Very Vellum, which is one of the new Sale-a-bration second release items. So I'm going to set my card aside here for a second, so hopefully I don't spill on it. Then we've got the Easter Promise stamp set, which I love the font and the sentiment. It's so pretty. And then it's got some really pretty Easter and spring images in it. So a good stamp set from the January to June 2020 mini catalog. So that's a set that's available right now for purchase. And then I also used the stitched rectangles dies, and I used this one in particular. It's the fourth biggest one. But anyway, so just use those as well. So let's get going on the card. So I used this soft seafoam vellum from the So Very Vellum pack today, and I'm actually going to use a little bit of snail to adhere it. I'm finding this vellum seems to be a little bit thicker, and the adhesive isn't showing through as well as it does a lot of times on the regular vellums, which is kind of nice. Although I'm still being careful about where I put the adhesive because I don't want it to show through accidentally, but it doesn't seem like it's showing nearly as well as like if you use the regular old white vellum. A lot of times you get a lot of show through on that. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting it up here and just adhering it on kind of in the area where my sentiment is going to be, so that hopefully you won't be able to see the adhesive through it. But like I said, this vellum, it's a little thicker. Now, of course, now that I say that, I can see it a little bit through here, but it's not nearly as noticeable as it normally is. So anyway, so that's going to be the background for the card front. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the Whisper White Polka Dot Tulle ribbon. And just going to wrap it around the card front here and tie a little bow down towards the bottom. And I'm going to try to cut this a little bit extra long because sometimes when I cut it a little bit too short, then I end up really wrestling with it and trying to get it to tie a nice bow. It's much easier to trim the ends than it is to try to tie it when it's too short. I know from experience, so trust me. All right, so just going to do a little bit, tie a little quick bow here, hopefully. And hey, Jean Ann, I'm so glad you were able to make it today. Checking out the live. So is it spring? I hear it's still wet down south in the Atlanta area. I've had friends down there who have, of course, now that I say I'm going to tie a bow. I can't get my fingers to work. So I have friends down in Atlanta who are telling me that it's raining again, and hopefully anybody in Tennessee is safe with those. There were some horrible storms overnight in Tennessee, tornadoes and the whole 9 yards, so that's definitely very scary, and thinking about everybody down south, so hopefully y'all are safe and doing okay this morning. So, okay, so we've got that done. Oh, hey, Lois, I'm glad that you're here too. I thought I saw you hop on, but I hadn't seen a comment, so I didn't know if you were here or not. So, all right, the next thing I've got is I went ahead and pre-cut my piece of Whisper White cardstock with the stitched rectangle die, and I went ahead and put on my Stamparatus. I put the Happy Easter sentiment, so I set that up already. And the reason that I did that, normally I don't, for whatever reason, tuxedo black, sometimes I get a really good image the first time I stamp it, and then sometimes I get a really terrible image the first time that I stamp it. So I tend to, when I'm going to be doing a sentiment like this, usually use my Stamparatus so that I can restamp it if I get a not so awesome image. All right, so let's go and keep our fingers crossed. So, oh, everything's wet and blooming. It's actually been surprisingly warm up here. I mean, we're in the mid-50s today, which I think is a little early for the north to be that warm. So it's been warm, and I'm hearing that we don't have anything blooming just yet, but I don't think we're far off because my nose is starting to run, and usually when that starts happening, that means that we're getting close to springtime. So, all right, so that looks a little bit better the second time around. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. And then we are going to ink up the flower image, again with Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And again, this is from the Easter Promise stamp set, which is a real pretty one from the mini catalog. And I didn't have any like super special way that I stamped this on here. I just sort of, and there I stuck my fingers in the black ink. So hopefully I'm not going to smudge everything. Just sort of put it so that it was near the sentiment, but and overlapped it a little bit, but didn't do any special placement on it. So I didn't feel like I needed to use my Stamparatus to stamp that on. And while I'm doing that, on the inside of the card, just so that it gives it a second to dry, and then the inside will be dry when we're ready to work on that, I used a little row of flowers from the Easter Promise stamp set to stamp the inside of the card. So we're going to use a little Tuxedo Black ink as well on that image, and I'm going to stamp it on the bottom of a piece of Whisper White cardstock. The Whisper White is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And I guess I didn't say that at the beginning either, but my other piece of Whisper White cardstock, the one that's behind the vellum, was cut to 4 by 5 1/4 as well, and the vellum piece was cut to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And I'll have all the details out on my blog tomorrow, so no worries about trying to write everything down or keep track of the measurements or anything. So, all right, we're going to do a little coloring with some Stampin' blends. I've got the light and dark So Saffron blends that I'm going to start with and do the basic coloring. I'm starting with the light just because that's what I prefer to do. I know some people prefer to start with the dark, but I prefer to start with the light because I just find that it's easier to add color, a lot harder to take it away. Going to add on a little bit of the dark So Saffron in the areas where I feel like there should be a shade on the flower, kind of down here underneath and towards the edges, at the top and the back, that kind of thing. And then I'll come back in with my light and sort of blend the two together as well. This image is a really easy one for coloring. It's super forgiving because it's kind of a hand-drawn look, so you don't have to be perfect on your coloring when you're using this one, which is nice because I am not perfect at coloring. And this makes it super, super easy to do. So, hey, Patricia, I'm glad you're here. So. While I'm coloring this, I guess I can go ahead and tell you about, I've got an ordering special going on today where you get double reward points for every order of $50 or greater that you place through my online store. So if you are interested in taking advantage of that and getting your hands on some of these new Sale-a-bration items, definitely go put in your orders. And my special runs through the 9th of March. Gosh, I almost said February because yikes. I can't believe we're in March already. But my ordering special runs through the 9th of March. So let me know if you have any questions about that. If there's anything I could do to help you with your order, I'm happy to do that. So, All right, so again, coloring, doing a little bit of the light, so saffron, and then coming back in with the dark and adding in a few shadows. Low lights, is that what they're called? I think officially they call them low lights. The coloring specialist, I am not. So I don't know all the right names for everything. All right, just gonna come back in and sort of blend the two together here a little bit with my light so saffron. This so saffron in particular I'm finding a very forgiving color just because it's very light. So even if you make a little boo-boo and color something dark that shouldn't be dark, it's not quite as noticeable. So for the flower center, I did use Mango Melody and went in first with the light. And again, it's almost the same color as the so saffron, but it's a little bit of a different orange to it. So it just gives it a little bit of different color. And then I used the light and dark soft seafoam Stampin' blends for the stems. So, and again, these are very, very forgiving. You can just sort of put the color on. I didn't color them particularly neatly. I'm just sort of getting most of the stem colored. And again, the light colors like this, even if you color outside the lines, I'm finding that sometimes you really can't see it very well. So yay for that, because I color outside the lines frequently. So I'm coming back in with a little bit of the dark soft seafoam, coloring up the stems a little bit. All right, and I put a little bit up there. I think we're going to call that good. Okay, so I think we are done with the coloring on the card front. So I'm going to flip this over and put a couple Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. I'm going to try to be a little careful about where I place them to make sure that I get them over to the edge on the side underneath the flowers, just because I have the ribbon over here and I don't want to stick the Stampin' Dimensionals to the ribbon so that it's kind of weird and lumpy. So, all right, so I'm going to peel those off and then hopefully adhere this straight, which it's kind of surprising, but I had a little harder time than I thought I would getting it adhered on straight and even. The dots make it kind of deceiving. When I was putting this on earlier, I was just like, is it straight or is it not straight? And it's sort of one of those where it's like sort of like an optical illusion where it doesn't look straight, but it is straight, but then it doesn't look like it. And so anyway, hopefully I've got it on there fairly straight. Got a couple Stampin' Dimensionals. We're going to adhere this on to the card front, so the card base with. And, I don't have any more cut, so I'll have to put a whole one in the center. Mary would be proud of me. So, hey Shirley, and I see Carrie is here as well. Thanks for hopping in and joining. Hopefully y'all are having a good day, enjoying your Tuesday. We're going to adhere this on to the front of a So Saffron card base that it's cut to 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And just going to adhere this on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. All right, and then, I realized I forgot to get my rhinestones. Hold on. I thought I had everything ready. Oh, yikes. See what happens when I try to do an easy card, then I forget something. All right. Phew, good thing they're close. Okay, so we're going to add a couple of rhinestones on, although I did get the dog up and she's now running around in the room, so she's all nervous trying to figure out, first of all, why is this crazy lady talking to herself? And secondly, why is she running around the room? So, all right, adding on a couple Stampin' Dimensionals, a couple of rhinestones, and that's basically it for the card front. So on the inside, I'd already stamped the image from the Easter Promise stamp set, so we're just going to do a little bit of quick coloring again with the same color Stampin' blends. Just going to use the light and dark So Saffron. And I'm actually going to color a couple of flowers at a time just because there are a lot of them and they're fairly small. And I didn't worry a whole lot about doing a ton of shading on them. I just sort of went in, added some color, added a little bit of dark where I thought there would be a little bit of dark, and then called it good. Because again, there are quite a few of them, and it's sort of an artsy looking image, so if it's not colored perfectly, we'll just say that it's, we took some artistic liberties and decided not to color it perfectly because we wanted it to look artsy. So, all right, adding a little bit of, again, So Saffron, using the light first, coming back in and adding a little bit of dark in the centers and along the edges where I feel like there would be a dark shadow. All right. Almost done with that part. Okay. Come back and probably blend a little bit here because I've got a few white spots. All right. Hey, Christine, thanks for hopping in. Glad that you're here. We're just doing a little coloring on the inside of the card. So we're almost done, actually. I'm coming back in here with the Mango Melody for the flower centers. Doing a little light, and then, although this one I probably could have gone straight to dark because there's no real shading involved in that. And then, again, using soft sea foam to color the stems and leaves on the inside of the card. And I was really, I'm really not being extremely careful because, again, there are lots of stems all together, and you really can't tell one from another, or really tell when you're coloring out of the lines. So that's if you want to play with coloring and are nervous about it, get the stamp set and give it a try because it makes coloring super, super easy. All right, so we're going to scoot those aside, and then I'm going to take this and adhere it to the inside of the card base with a little bit of snail. And we will be done. So let me go ahead and add this in. All right, and then fold it and do a quick crease with the bone folder over the top of it. All right, let me grab my other card here. So 2 cards. This is the one we made today on the video, and this is the one that I'd made ahead of time as my little sample. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, picked up a few tips, and if you do not have it yet, definitely get some of this very pretty So Very Vellum, which is in the second release, Sale-a-bration. If you have questions about it, feel free to hop out on my blog and take a look around and drop me a note, send me an email. I'm always happy to answer anything. Hopefully you all will have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I will plan to see you next week Tuesday on Facebook Live, and I will also plan to hop on Friday on YouTube Live. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, head over there and do that, and set up your notifications so you get notified when I'm live, and I will plan to see you all then. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm glad that you enjoyed the card, and hopefully you have a great rest of your day.